Elon Musk $230 billion, Jeff Bezos $140 billion, Warren Buffett $115 billion, Bill Gates $128 billion, all are self-made billionaires. Research shows that most of today's millionaires weren't born into their wealth. A 2017 survey from Fidelity Investments found that 88% of all millionaires are self-made, meaning they did not inherit their wealth. How these self-made billionaires earned their fortune and what they know that poor don't. Bill Gates invented computer software and made our lives easier. A few years later, he became the world's richest man and has remained a multi-billionaire living among us ever since. Problems are the source of wealth. Find lots of problems and solve them. When do we pay to any people or company? Why do companies pay us if we are working as an employee? They pay us only because we can help them solve their problems to reach their goals. The bigger the problems we can solve for people, the more we get paid. Your income is a result of the amount of problems you can solve. Why a heart surgeon gets paid so much more money than a massage therapist? A massage therapist solves a small problem, helping people to relieve their aches and pains. Whereas a heart surgeon solves a much bigger problem, they help save people's lives by repairing their hearts. Why does a company CEO get paid 1,000 times more than a janitor? It is because the CEO has the ability to solve problems 1,000 times larger than what the janitor can solve. If the company is losing customers and market share, a good CEO will be able to turn the company around and solve this big problem. Can a janitor solve such a big problem? The answer is no. The janitor can only solve small problems when someone has spilled something on the floor and it needs to be cleaned. Same goes for teachers. They make money by helping students solve their problems of failing in school. Therefore, instead of asking, "How can I get rich?" you should ask, "How can I help more people solve their problems?" By focusing on helping more people solve their problems, wealth will come naturally. If you ask anyone about how they generate money, the conversation will inevitably turn to jobs, and that's not at all wrong, at least not when you're young. Generating a basic income is the first step toward accumulating wealth. A job is certainly the most convenient way to generate cash flow if you have no assets that you can sell to the general public in exchange for money. The difference between the rich and others is that the rich don't stay in the job phase for too long. They realize early on that in order to become rich, they must become job creators rather than job holders. By contrast, the rest of us typically spend our lives in the job phase, and we're trapped once we believe that a job is the only way to earn money. That locks you into working for money for the rest of your life. For example, someone is working at a burger shop, flipping burger and get paid by the hour. They probably make minimum wage and has few opportunities for advancement. Most of the employees think that they are earning less money and the owner is the one who reaps huge profits. This is because the employee is one of the elements of a business process. Supplier, shop, burger flipper, salesman, customer. The burger flipper is over here. The rich learn the virtue of becoming business owners early, and owning a business is about figuring out how to use resources and people to make more money than you could by exchanging your own labor for a pay. Ultimately, you become the overseer of the business, rather than a frontline worker. Warren Buffett says if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Making money while you sleep is what differentiates wealthy from the rest. We will share a simple yet a thought-stimulating story from The Parable of the Pipeline by Burke Hedges. This story circles around two protagonists, Pablo and Bruno. The two friends were on a quest for financial independence in their lives. One day, they were given a task of carrying the water from the mountain to a village. While Bruno was content with the money he earned from the task, Pablo felt quite exhausted at the end of the day. After a few weeks, an idea struck upon him. He thought of building a pipeline which can carry water on its own. While Bruno spurned the idea, that did not deter Pablo. Soon he started building the pipeline in his spare times. In the meantime, Bruno bought a bigger house and cow for himself. However, with time, his capacity to carry water reduced day by day. After 2 years, Pablo was able to complete the pipeline, and now instead of using buckets to deliver water, his pipeline did the work for him. He earned a lot of money without any efforts. So what does this story teach us? Well, no doubt that creating pipeline was a time-consuming process, but it helped Pablo to make money work for him without any efforts. Learning how to make millions is one thing, but mastering the art of keeping that fortune intact, preserve it, and grow it is a different task. Many people get rich only to blow through their earnings in a matter of years. A common theme among wealthy people is the realization that money earned easily can be lost just as quickly. There is a healthy fear of making a mistake they will regret. John McAfee, the multimillionaire inventor of antivirus software, whose net worth is estimated at about $100 million, with the bulk coming from the sale of his stake in the antivirus company. McAfee sold off his final stake in the company in 1994, however, had lost his fortune. The author Mark Eglinton said he had his money in very safe investments. But he built houses, absolutely bizarre properties, some of them he never slept a night in the property. How to make sure you stay wealthy. Make sure your money is conservatively invested. You already know that simply relying on one stream of income isn't the way to get rich. If you unexpectedly lose your job, it might only take a few months to burn through emergency savings. The rich are well aware of this fact and take steps to protect themselves by investing their money. Stocks, bonds, real estate, cash, commodities, and more might be worth spreading into. Thomas Corley, author of Rich Habits, The Daily Success Habits of Wealthy Individuals, noted that 67% of the wealthy people he surveyed wrote down their goals. 62% of them focus on their goals every day, and a whopping 81% keep a to-do list. The difference between having an idea and putting it on paper is often what separates the mega-successful people from average people. If you equate success with wealth, it might be time to start writing down your goals, both large and small, in order to become rich, along with an action plan for making it happen. A more productive approach is to prioritize one important goal, create a plan of actionable steps that help you accomplish that goal, then add those steps, tasks, and habits to your daily to-do list. These 3 simple steps will give you increased focus and will help you move closer to that goal. The people who have built a fortune understand that success comes to those who embrace a little discomfort. They understand that the only way to become wealthy and move to the next level is to push past your limits. All successful business leaders, game changers, have gone outside their comfort zones. For example, you're here, inside your comfort zone, and this is the real life where you want to be and your goal. People who are said to live in the comfort zone usually take minimal risks and receive minimal rewards in return. It takes money to make money. However, using other people's money is considered a double-edged sword. It cuts both ways. If an investment that is levered with other people's money turns out to be profitable, then the profits are magnified by the effects of the leverage. However, if the levered investment goes sour, then the investor that utilized other people's money can incur steeper losses. For example, an investor has $100 and plans to invest it in a security that either gains 20% or losses 20% over the course of the year. If the investment gains 20%, then the investor ends the year with $120 or a profit of $20. However, if the investment losses 20%, then the investor ends the year with $80 or a loss of $20. In either case, the gains and losses represent a reasonable amount in comparison to the original invested capital. Now, let's examine the same investment, but with the investor using other people's money as financial leverage. For example, the investor borrows $400 and, along with his original $100, invests a total of $500 in the same investment. The investment will end the year either up 20% or down 20%. If the investment gains 20%, then the investor ends the year with $600 or a profit of $100. This represents a 100% increase in the original invested capital. On the other hand, if the investment losses 20%, then the investor ends the year with $400 or a loss of $100. This represents a loss of 100% of the original invested capital. As you can see, the use of other people's money or financial leverage dramatically increased both the upside gains and the downside losses of the investment.